Hello, everybody. Welcome to Ball Breakers. I'm your host, Rocco, on this beautiful Valentine's Day weekend. I am excited to talk to the guys about a few topics today. So, Chris, what's going on, man?
What's up, Brock? I'm happy to be back in the studio. I just feel safe here. I just feel happy talking to you guys. There's nothing like it. Not really, but anyway, go ahead.
Earl, are you recording, Earl? This is our first.
Yeah, we are actually, barring this recording goes well, hoping to upload our video podcast up to YouTube. So listeners, if you're not subscribed and you're not liking our YouTube videos, we are on there, and the link is in our bio on Instagram.
That's awesome. Everyone's gonna see Chris in his vibrant orange hoodie, and I didn't get a chance to ask you how you're doing. How you doing?
I'm all right. School, man. School is rough.
Every week with you.
School is bad.
Just drop out.
No, it's like if I was like in my second year, I'd think about it, but I'm literally like graduating in May, so it would be a little pointless for me to drop out now.
You have the itis?
Yeah, bad.
Well, let's talk about someone who is also going through their time with school. Doc, what's going on?
Yeah, I hate school. I was just sitting here in my Zoom class, not really like paying attention, and I look over and I'm like, wait, this professor hasn't said a word in like 5 minutes. Are we taking a quiz right now? So it turns out we were taking a quiz that I just got a 2 out of 10 on, which probably isn't like a recipe for success. But that's all right. We're going to bounce back tomorrow. I feel fine. I feel good, and I'm excited to get going, and hopefully I can do good in that class.
So what made you realize that quiz was being taken on a completely muted computer?
Well, I looked over. It wasn't completely muted. It was on, and I realized that he wasn't on the camera, and he wasn't speaking, and I was like, this would suck if we were taking a quiz right now, and I had no idea. So I clicked on the assignments tab, and it turns out we were actually taking a quiz that I had like 10 minutes left to do. And I bombed it.
Oh, that's fine. I remember those days all the time.
Because he didn't even put the answers on Quizlet. That's messed up.
But you know, it's funny. You're gonna look back in when you graduate in May.
I hope.
You're gonna look back in May and be like, I did it. You know, you don't think about that. I skipped entirely too many classes before I graduated.
What class is this for, Doc?
This is exercise physiology, Earl.
Oh my goodness,
Yeah.
that sounds awful.
He said it's the hardest class we're going to take this semester, so yeah, that's good.
Yeah,
I'm
it's
good. We're good. We'll bounce back.
Oh, we'll for sure bounce back.
I've been knocked down before.
So as everyone knows, we love to start off with some fan interaction. We have our Q&A brought to you by Halo Creations. Again, keep sending in questions to our Q&A about anything you guys want about the show. Could be a general question. You guys can break our balls with some questions. Do whatever you guys want. Just send us some questions. We love answering them. If they're not answered the week that you send them, they are added to our bank and they could be answered going forward. So, Earl, what do we have this week with the Q&A?
So our first question here we have lined up is from @Austin_Mitchell. And it says, who's your favorite Philadelphia sports athlete and why?
That's a good question. I'll kick it off. I think that my favorite. Now, is this all time? Do we know?
Let's just go with all
Yes.
time.
Let's go with all
yeah,
time.
we'll go and go with all time.
You know, I think I'm gonna have to go with Allen Iverson because when I was a kid, he's the only reason I watched basketball, and I have this great memory of being at the game in 2001 in the playoffs when they played the Raptors, and him and Vince Carter both had like 50-something points. And ever since then, he was just my favorite player all the way up until he retired. He's the man. I got like 3 pairs of his shoes.
All
That's
right.
my guy.
That's a good answer, Chris.
Thanks.
You bought those shoes recently, didn't you?
I have a pair that there's only like less than 2,000 pairs. It says right on the tongue like 2 out of.
Yeah, I remember my grandfather, when I was into collecting sneakers, I came over his house and he was like, yo, I didn't know you're into collecting sneakers. Like, here, you can have these. And he literally gave me like an original pair of Allen Iverson's. Yeah, from like 97. I want to say 97.
That's what I'm saying. They're probably going to be worth money.
And it was pretty funny though, because I bought like the same exact pair from a store and he was giving me the pair from 97.
Oh,
So I
so
thought
it's the
that was
same
pretty
pair
cool.
that
Yeah.
they remade.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Rock, what do you think?
I'm a hockey guy. Nobody cares about hockey, clearly. So growing up, I was the softest goalie ever. Didn't say anything. But I always wanted to be like Ron Hextall because anytime he got scored on, he let him have it. And even if you guys don't like hockey, type in Ron Hextall tribute video, and it begins with him just like kind of humming in the net with like a very dark background, and then the rest of the video is him just kicking everyone's ass. It is the greatest video you could watch. I loved, and I didn't even get to watch him growing up. I was too young. But watching his tributes, his highlights, full games, actually, he was just a blast to watch, and that was a goalie that I admired personally.
If only he turned out to be anything like him.
No shot. He is. He has a Stanley Cup Vezina or whatever it's called. What's the Stanley Cup?
Conn Smythe.
Is
Yeah.
it the Conn Smythe? Yeah,
Hockey guys.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, hockey guys.
What do you got,
I
Doc?
get all
Your
the trophies
favorite
mixed up.
Philadelphia sports athlete?
Oh, so I think I'm gonna go with Chase Utley.
I
Philadelphia,
was thinking
Philly.
that.
Yeah.
I was thinking that too.
I was obviously gonna pick some baseball player, but I couldn't think of anyone. You know, there's so many good Phillies, so I'm gonna stick with Chase Utley. He was awesome to watch. He was great, and I've met him before. Very nice guy.
Did you?
Yeah.
Where'd you meet him at?
I met him at Chickies and Pete's in Philly. Got his autograph. Him and Pat Burrell, Pat the Bat.
Pat the Bat.
Yeah, he was kind of rude, but Utley,
Not a fan of Pat Burrell.
Nah, yeah, I didn't like him.
I heard he
My-
was rude. I did.
He looked
hear
like he
that.
just, I get it. He didn't want to be bothered, but Utley was, everyone was going up to him. And I got my ticket signed by him. It was cool. Cool
Guys,
experience.
I have a ridiculous story about my favorite Philadelphia sports athlete.
Let's hear it.
I'm not going to lie, I'm not even an Eagles fan, but I was thinking about this question. I'm pretty torn between Dawkins and Westbrook, and I decided I'll go Westbrook because of this one time he was signing autographs in Deffert, right, a couple of 15 minutes out of Philly, and it was him and Deuce, big old Deuce Staley. They're signing autographs. It's starting at noon, and Westbrook leaves early, and I don't get in line till noon, so I don't. I got to get my signed poster, though. So I'm like, I guess I'll get a signed poster by Deuce Staley. Why not? And turns out they've now run out of Deuce Staley pictures. So I have a Brian Westbrook photograph signed by Deuce Staley.
Oh, that's awful.
But that is I don't know, there's a lot of Philly players that came in the shop and stuff like that at different stores around us. So I know a lot of them working in retail, but Westbrook he was electric running back. So that's why I decided to roll with him.
He was the man.
So my
Good
brother actually, this is a story that I've heard. I don't even know if I was coherent at the time. I was super young, but I was told that my brother wanted to get an autograph by Pat Burrell, and he said to him, "I don't do autographs, kid." And that was the
Yeah.
kind of guy he was.
That's kind of like how he was with me.
Yeah.
He kind of just realized I was like an 8-year-old, so I guess he felt
Who,
bad.
Pat Burrell?
Yeah.
How about
said he
Legend?
doesn't do
didn't-
autographs?
No, he did,
Oh.
but he just probably didn't want to be bothered. I get it.
Isn't that why he was there though, or he was just there eating
No,
lunch
they were
with Chase
legit
Utley?
there eating we're having dinner.
No way.
Yeah, it was actually
Dude,
cool.
there's a lot of Philly sports guys that came in. I worked in the mall for 5-6 years, and I'm not gonna lie, a lot of them were kind of dicks.
Yeah.
One guy notably that I remember was Deshaun Jackson. He would come in and shop, and he would just not want to be there. Obviously, you could tell he was just there buying stuff for his boys and stuff like that, and he didn't want to be oh, Deshaun Jackson. I don't know.
Well, you got to probably think those guys probably go out of their house, and every single time they go anywhere.
Yeah, but then
They
there's
get
also
bombarded.
a lot of them that aren't like that, So I just wish they'd be nicer about it.
They're probably people that just appreciate the fact that they're even in that position, that many people want to talk to them. Could you imagine going to that store and a bunch of people coming up to you? Oh my God, it's Earl
That
from Ball
happens
Breakers
now.
podcast.
I don't know, but I'm saying, there's a lot of guys that are nice about it. I remember when Benny Logan was with the Eagles, I literally would sell him sneakers and meet with him at the Walmart in Deffert and give him shoes to his boy named G. You know what I mean?
Some shady stuff.
No, nothing shady. I would just sell him some sneakers to Benny Logan, and that was
Yeah.
it. But he was cool. You know what I mean? It's not like he was the kind of guy that wouldn't want to talk to anyone just because he was famous.
That would be insane if I walked out of my car in the mall and they were like, "Oh my God, it's Rocco from the Ball Breakers pod."
Yeah, that would never.
No, that just happened to me the other day.
Did it?
No.
We're not that big.
No,
Not
not
yet.
at all.
Go on to number
but
2.
That's okay.
All right, so our second question here is from @Danielle Ronnie, and it says, "Are you guys going to have guests on the podcast?"
We're working towards that for sure. That's something that we want to do. It's dependent on how the podcast goes from here on out, as well as we had an idea on if one of us four didn't make the podcast on getting it replaced by a guest and taking it from there. So we're playing it by ear, which I actually just learned the other day. It's not playing it by year; it's playing
It's
it by
ear.
ear. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Whoa.
Did you know that?
You didn't
I
know that?
never
Wait,
Ryan?
you guys
never
thought it
knew
was
that.
year?
I did at first. Yeah.
I thought it was
Mm.
ear, but I remember hearing that in high school that it's ear,
Mm-hmm.
and I changed my whole life. Kind of changed
it actually makes sense too if you think about it. Because playing it by year, I would always think this in my mind. Playing it by year, that doesn't make any sense because then you got to wait like a whole year. But if you play it by ear, you're waiting to say something to then play it out that way.
I thought it meant like once
My
you
mind's
hear
blown.
something about it, like you're. Does that make sense?
What?
Wait, what did you say? Why is it ear?
Because it's like when something, it's then you're playing it by ear because then you're gonna communicate about it,
Right, you're
about the
gonna hear it.
decision, or whatever the case is, and then
Right.
make the decision. That's the way I took it as. I don't know. I didn't do the research. I mean, I just found out the other day that it was play it by
Ear.
ear.
Look at Doc. He's like literally.
I'm,
he has no
I'm
idea.
perplexed. Is that a word?
Yeah,
that's
that's
a
a word.
That's definitely a
Is
word.
that the right word?
That's how I felt
yeah,
when
yeah.
when someone told me that it was nip it in the bud, not the butt.
I thought it was butt.
I thought it was bud,
N-
like
Yeah,
bud.
BUD. Like you gotta nip it in the bud, not butt.
Also, Rocco, we're gonna have a guest once Elon Musk finally answers my DM.
Mm-hmm.
So he's probably gonna be our first guest.
What's the first question you would ask him?
That's a great question.
Yeah,
That's
nice.
a loaded
Well,
question.
Elon, if you're listening, we're ready for you.
Please
So
answer my DM.
our third question here is from @Dana Leota, and this is directed towards Earl, me. And it says, "What do you want to do for the rest of your life?" And here's the age-old question for anyone. And I'm going to go ahead and say I'm not exactly sure. And I'm not upset about it. And I don't get worried about it. Because whatever happens kind of happens. I guess I'm one of those guys. Wherever I end up, I end up. And if that's doing whatever, so be it.
So we saw this question. Earl was talking about this question a couple days ago, actually, back on Monday, and to this day, even after looking at it, then he still hasn't had an answer since then.
I did it. I tell you what, though, I did apply to like 10 jobs over the last like month.
Nice.
They all told me
Mhm.
to kick rocks.
That's okay.
So,
You gotta
luckily
start
I'm-
somewhere.
Keep
Yeah.
applying.
Luckily, I'm just still in school. I'm not worried about it.
You know
These
who,
things happen,
you know who did hire you? The Ball Breakers Pod.
and I
Mhm.
couldn't be more happy.
Mm-hmm.
For sure.
It's
And
tough with jobs. I think I applied to about 40 jobs before I even got a phone call or an email. Well, I did get plenty of emails getting rejected, but
mhm.
before that,
Well, that's
I
the way
mean,
to do, man. Don't give up.
yeah,
Never give up.
right.
So it's funny that you say the Instagram questions because Dana is actually Doc's girlfriend. I'm not sure if you care.
No, she's not.
Yeah, no.
Just
they're
kidding.
not
She is my girlfriend.
Yeah. So the reason why we bring that up is because Doc's going on a little vacation. We're recording a little early before Valentine's Day weekend, and Doc is traveling, and we wanted to discuss traveling as part of our topic today. Because I mean, a lot of us have been to a lot of places, and there's also a lot of places we want to go. A lot of experience that we've been through, and so Doc, let's start off with you. Where are you traveling to this weekend?
Yeah, so this weekend for Valentine's Day, me and my girlfriend are traveling to Lake Placid, New York. I'm not really sure as to why we chose that. I think it was her idea. She said, "Oh, I saw someone that goes there. It looks really nice. Let's do it." I said, "Yeah, let's go to a place that's like negative 10 degrees right now. I can't wait."
No way.
Yeah,
Mhm.
it's really
It's
cold.
that cold.
Yeah,
Oh my
The-
god.
but I'm excited.
I know I follow some girl on Instagram who's training at the Olympic Training Center in Lake Placid, and she was saying that she got a notification from the weather that literally told her like if you're exposed to the air for like more than 10 to 20 minutes, you will get frostbite.
Yeah, so that's gonna be me all weekend.
You
So
got-
I'm excited though. It looks really nice. Like, there's a lot of stuff we're gonna do, and
You should ice skate.
we are.
You should wear some gloves.
We are.
Okay.
Gloves,
good.
hat.
Yeah,
snow,
you got to be
snow
careful
boots.
out there.
I'll tell you what, I've
jacket.
only been exposed to extreme weather like that once, and I was up in the Poconos, and I vividly remember walking on this frozen over lake, and one of my buddies was just sitting Indian style in the middle of this lake with a giant rock pounding the ice. And I was like, "Are you serious? What's wrong with you?" He was like, I want to get wet, get in the ice." I was like, "What's wrong
Like
with
on
you?"
a lake.
Yeah, like a frozen lake,
Like Lake Placid,
like Lake Placid.
but probably not as big.
That's
Yeah.
like
Lake Placid
that's
big?
That's actually super dangerous.
Yeah, I don't know why he would do that, but
Did it crack at all?
no, it was probably like at least 2 feet frozen. It was cold
oh my
there.
god. That sounds terrible. I can't do the cold.
We're
Well,
going
it's not for me.
snowmobiling.
Oh, that's nice.
No way.
Yeah,
That sounds awesome.
it sounds fun, right?
What is it?
I'm
What does
excited,
that
Chris.
entail? You just like go in a circle, or is
Yeah,
there a
so
track? Or
there's it's this guy who does like I guess he brings you around this like 17 miles we're traveling, and then it ends at his
What?
house. And I guess he has like a bar there.
Sounds like a horror film.
Yeah, I was, and I
Is it during the day or?
yeah, it's during the day,
Oh, thank God.
but I'm excited. It's gonna be fun.
Is that
Snow sounds awesome?
is that during the negative 10-degree weather?
At night, it gets that cold.
Yeah,
Not
it's
really.
gonna be.
During the
I
day,
think during the
probably,
day
like,
it's gonna be
regular.
right around like 15 to 20 degrees, and then at night it's like a low, like in the negatives.
Mm-hmm.
Damn.
I mean, 15 and 20 degrees is still very cold.
When was the last time you guys traveled? I mean, especially obviously with COVID, don't want to keep beating on it, but like before that, when was the last time you guys traveled?
I think the last time, it was when we went to Vegas,
Ooh, Vegas.
right? I mean, that was
Yeah,
last
I was-
May.
I was on like a bender that month. I think I went to Vegas and I came back home for like 2 days. And then I left for Nashville.
You
right
did,
after.
yeah.
That's awesome.
No, I was in trouble.
Oh, dude.
Nashville was bad for me. Nashville didn't treat me well.
No? Well,
No.
as if Vegas did.
Well,
Well,
I think that's what happened was I was just so hungover from Vegas. It came to Nashville, and I got food poisoning in Nashville.
Ooh.
Bad food poisoning. These
Really? What
these
was
damn
it?
gator bites.
What?
Yeah, I was
Are they
eating.
good?
They taste like chicken, but I guess they weren't good.
Nashville's awesome, though.
Oh,
my
yeah,
God.
Nashville is a good time.
Yeah, it's like one of the places I really want to go to.
Yeah.
Same
That's
here.
it's just every single place you go in Nashville is just, there's like legit food, like Southern food, which I never really was very into, but when I was there, that's like the best of the best. And the live music is just unbelievable. Did you do all that on on like the main
Yeah.
strip and all?
Yeah, I was there doing that stuff. It sucks though. I feel like we were there for a little too long. When you go to Nashville, I feel like it's more of just like a long weekend sort of thing, like 2-3 days. We were there for I think like 5. So
Really?
after you see the strip, that's about it.
I
You know
mean,
what I mean?
speaking of that, would you guys agree that Vegas trip was probably like one of the best / like worst experience of your life?
That's
'Cause
a,
we
that's a
got-
really good way to put it.
Great.
You guys got stuck there, right?
Yeah, we got stuck in Vegas for what was it, eight days, Chris, in a row?
Nah, I mean, was it 8 days?
Or 7? It was like a week.
It was entirely too long
were
to be
supposed
in
to be
Las
there-
Vegas.
We got home Monday. We got down there Monday.
Yeah,
Like,
we were there for
on-
an entire week.
Yeah, it was Monday to Monday, but really it was supposed to be Monday to Friday.
Or I thought we were supposed to leave Thursday night, right?
Now Friday morning.
Oh, yeah, and then we ended up not getting home until what, Monday night?
Yeah. Why? Why? Do you guys want to tell the stories why that happened? I blame our friend, but
So there's this place in Vegas. I don't know if anybody's ever heard of this gentleman. His name is Zach Baggins. Have you ever heard of him, Rock?
No.
So this guy has his own ghost show where he does like ghost hunting and all that.
What is it? Paranormal? No. What's it called?
It's
on,
ghost Ghost
Ghost
Stories.
Adventures.
Ghost Adventures,
yeah,
yeah,
that's it.
that sounds right. So this guy has a museum in Vegas where it's just, I didn't go, but from what I know, you just kind of walk through and there's like rooms on your left, rooms on your right, and there's like attractions, haunted stuff. And there's this one room where it's called a Dybbuk box, and it's supposed to be like a spirit. I guess
It's
demon?
actually it was deemed like the most haunted item in the world.
yeah, I was gonna
Yeah,
say.
like somebody, I actually looked into it one day because it's very interesting. Somebody had possession of this box. It's actually just a box that's supposed to hold 2 wine bottles. And there's a room for it. Well, it obviously traded a bunch of hands and it ended up in this guy's hands and he put it in his museum. And basically whatever you do, when you go in this room, it's really creepy. It's just like a black walls in the room and the boxes in the middle. And all you have to do is just look at it. They always say, whatever you do, just don't touch the thing. So we have a friend who thinks it's a fantastic idea to touch it on his way out.
But the more that we tell this story, I'm starting to think that some demons got to him.
No, they for sure did.
Like I'm starting to think that that they came over him and said, "Touch this box."
You think so?
Well,
That's
Well,
a
I
little
believe
too
in
much
I
for
believe
me.
in
I'm not gonna
ghosts
lie.
and
Alright,
spirits.
So hold on,
demons.
let me finish the story. So then
Okay.
what happens is, he leaves, whatever, and we're sitting at a blackjack table, and someone comes up to us, someone on the trip says, our flight is delayed, or was it canceled or delayed?
It was delayed at first.
It was delayed at
and
first.
this is 4 a.m.
It was 4 a.m, and we were, were we leaving that morning, the next morning?
Yeah, so we were planning on partying all night, staying up and just catching our flight at 10, and we
Right.
get a reminder at 4 o'clock in the morning that our flight's been canceled due to weather, inclement weather.
No, it was from the company. Remember,
Oh,
airlines
yeah,
company.
yeah,
it was the
yeah.
airlines.
They
Yeah,
said
they
that
said
it
for
was
maintenance.
mechanical errors. Yes. So at the time, we were like, "Oh my God, this is fantastic! We get an extra day in Vegas."
Do they pay for the room? The airline?
At the end, yeah.
I
think
think
they did.
they'll reimburse you if you had to spend money on a hotel room. I think I don't remember correctly, but then we spend that next day. We went out to a real nice dinner. We were like, it's our last night. We got an extra day. Let's go to a nice dinner. We're getting ready to go to the airport, and they hit us again. Same thing happened. We got another day delayed, and then we were like, this is getting kind of weird. Like something's going on right now. And then we ended up getting stuck for 3 whole extra days. And then it all kind of hit us like he had to touch that box. Bad things happen to people when they touch this box and
So,
leave.
so to just set the scene of like how horrible it was, so just picture this. There's like, I don't know, 6 guys, all just turned 21, 22, and we are going crazy in Vegas, spending money, gambling, buying drinks, food, you name it. And now we did not plan on staying for 3 extra days.
Mhm.
I was literally so broke. I have no idea how I even made it home.
Mm-hmm.
I remember thinking to myself, laying in the hotel bed, like in the casino bed, like, if I have to look at another casino floor today, like, I'm just going to cry. Like, I couldn't stand it.
That was the first thing you guys said, because I didn't go on the trip. All you 3 you guys did, for people who are listening. And that was the first thing you guys said when coming back was, we will never go for that long again,
Oh my
because
God,
it
no.
was, you guys said at most it was a 5-day trip to go on. And
At
that's it.
most.
At most,
I
yeah.
think,
very
I think the
generous,
best
too.
time you can do Vegas is, like I said, Nashville, like a long weekend,
Mhm.
Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and then go home Sunday at some point.
Yeah,
Right.
absolutely.
100%.
And it's just funny because that story, he touched the box, and then just so happens the very next day. Well, the whole thing was there was just a huge storm, tornado, whatever it was. Just
there was a storm too. I forgot about
yeah,
that.
it was literally just all the way down straight to the map from what would you say, the top of what's
It
up
was
top there,
Detroit.
Montana or
Yeah.
Detroit or whatever, all the way down to Texas. So we legit just couldn't fly.
And
Yeah,
this
and-
is a tourist attraction. This box.
Yes.
Yeah,
And
Well,
it's
the
in a house,
museum itself.
or it's in a museum.
Yeah, so what actually it actually is a house, but the house itself was like deemed too haunted for anybody to live in. Like everybody that tried to live in this house ended up selling it because it was too haunted. And this guy Zach Baggins said, "This is prime real estate in Vegas to make a scary museum," and it does very well.
So I don't know if you guys know, or even for our listeners, if you don't know, that Dybbuk box that's in the most haunted museum in Las Vegas is actually the one where Post Malone was just talking about in an interview, where him and Zach Baggins got loaded, and they opened this box up, and a week after Post Malone was like screwing around with this box, his house was broken into, his plane emergency landed,
And he
his
got in
car
a car
crashed.
accident. Yep,
Like,
crazy.
there's some demons in that thing.
Yeah.
it's real.
You guys ever see the
And
movie about it?
There's a movie about that
Yeah.
specific box.
Mm-hmm.
No way.
It's called The Possession. It was
Really?
horrible, but if you ever like want to watch it, just to watch
but
it.
they say like this is the
Yeah,
Dybbuk
it
box.
was a like this father and his daughter go to a yard sale, and the girl's attracted to the box, but obviously it was like the spirit trying to get her to come get it. So she bought it, and then it took her over, and then it tells you at the end, at the credits, where how like who had it first, this, that, and now
like
it's
the
in the
real
possession
box?
of Zach Baggins. Yeah,
Wow.
yeah, it was alright. I mean, it's worth it if you
I'll
want to just
probably never
watch
watch
it.
it. To be
Yeah,
honest,
if you
but-
guys and listeners, if you wanted to do your own research on it, it's DYBUK, Dybbuk box.
Do you guys have beliefs in that demon and the demon stuff? Like you guys
just
believe
like spirits and
Yeah.
demons, like in general.
in? Because I have an interesting theory on this.
Let's hear it.
Oh God.
Maybe so because there's this whole entire thing where like if you don't believe in demons, what is it? If you don't believe in demons, you don't believe in like the religion for it, right?
I have
Or-
no
I have
idea
no
what you're
clue.
talking
Well,
about.
anyways, like for example, Exorcist, right? And like the demons in there to like where it's like a Catholic thing or a Christian thing or whatever, and then you do the ritual or whatever. So I think that maybe they're not demons per se. And I hope they don't attack me for this, but that like they're like aliens, right? Who just have these powers that like come from a different country, but we can't see them.
I don't know. So to touch on that, so your first part, So I don't really believe in any sort of religion, but I do believe that there's like demons and shit like that.
I don't think you have to believe in any type of religion to also believe that there's demons.
But if you think about it, it only makes sense.
I just think that sometimes when Rocco talks, I just want to, dude, I want to just like smack you.
That's why can't it be a creature though? Is my point.
Yeah, like, but
An alien though?
like,
Yeah, like
when you go from anything and end up talking about aliens, it usually is just an invalid point.
You
somehow.
think? Wait, are you saying you think aliens aren't real?
No,
Okay.
trust me, I think aliens are real. I just think that when Rocco talks and somehow brings up aliens, it never makes sense.
That's fair.
Listen, demons and spirits are real. I've had an encounter with one. With one, I don't know. I've had plenty of encounters, and
Numerous
we've also,
encounters.
me and my family have caught a spirit on video, and you guys have witnesses to that video, and it's insane. After that, I'll never not believe in it. And my house is also very like.
Didn't you say you like saw a ghost once?
Yeah, it's a crazy story.
Gotta
Go
say
ahead.
it.
Yeah,
tell it.
so it was one night. I forget what I was doing. It was me and my girlfriend, and we got home back to my house, and we went to sleep. We were on the couch. We fell asleep, and it was probably three in the
3:04.
morning, 3:15. Yeah, it was.
No,
it was in
no,
between
it was
that.
3:04.
That's
I-
the,
You
that's
remember
the
that
witching
time.
hour there.
Yeah.
because
3 in
you
the
told
morning.
you told me when
was
it happened.
3:04?
You said between 3 and 4 is scary hours, and you said I looked at my phone and it was 3:04.
Yeah, they call that the witching hour.
Yeah.
3 in the morning.
Yeah, it's scary hours.
Yeah, so I woke up. I woke up, and I look up in front of me, and there was just this huge dark figure just standing in front of me, and I was screaming my lungs out. Like, I've never screamed so hard in my entire life. And meanwhile, my girlfriend's just laying there next to me, didn't even flinch. But everyone upstairs in my house, my dad, my mom, my brothers, they all come storming down, like, in their underwear and you name it, like, going outside because they thought someone broke in. They thought someone was attacking me. And my girlfriend said next to me, she just sits up like, what's wrong? It was the craziest thing. And you know why I know it? Because you guys remember on, like, the Comcast boxes, there's, like, a light that shows it's on. It's like a green light or a red light or whatever.
Yeah.
But I remember looking in front of me and I couldn't see the light. I saw the dark figure, and then as everyone starts running down the stairs, it vanished, and I saw the light again.
Were you like frozen too, like while this was happening?
Yeah,
Like
I was
you
like,
couldn't really.
I couldn't move.
That's like what I picture when you say because the light, like it went by it, and you like don't really know what to do. You're kind of just
Yeah,
frozen
what am I
there.
gonna do? I didn't know what it was. It could have been a person. Obviously, it wasn't, but it was a spirit, some type. And then I looked it up after, and they say between the hours of 3 and 4, it's the witching hour, which a lot of people are experiencing dark figures, and it's supposed to be when like spirits come out and haunt people or whatever. But it was crazy.
That's all new to me. And actually, my favorite part of that story was just the potential of your brother coming downstairs in his underwear.
Yeah, they grabbed the bat, you name it. They thought someone broke in, and I was like, there was just someone standing in front of me. Now it's gone.
So instead of demons, though, have you guys ever had a bad experience while traveling, like scary
Dude.
experience?
So this ties in, actually. The only experience I've ever had with what I thought were ghosts were when I was in the Philippines. I used to go to the Philippines every summer up until my father passed away. And we were on this scary-ass mountain. We went to see this like volcano, this dormant volcano in the Philippines. And this was super sketchy. Like, I'm talking about like drawbridges. No, not drawbridges, like wooden bridges, like to the point where like one person could stand at one end and another person could stand at the other. You could sway this bridge and like potentially fall off and die.
That's
So anyway, our tour guide is like, hey, there's a bad storm coming in. We need to go stand over here. And, you know, this rain's going to be like 10, 15 minutes. Like, the Philippines is a tropical country. So 1 minute it's really nice. The next minute it's storming crazily. But anyway, so we take shelter underneath this, like, I don't even know what to call it. It looked like a country club. And it looks like there's a poltergeist inside. Like, everything inside of this country club is thrown around. It looked like a tornado went off in this country club. So anyway, we're like, this is really shady and weird. Why is this? In the middle of the storm, these two little girls wearing white dresses with flowers in their ears start playing in the rain in front of us.
nah.
And we're like, where are your parents? Do you know that there's like a crazy storm going on? You should head for shelter or something. And they just looked at us and laughed and ran into the rain.
Nope.
Like, disappeared into the fog.
Nah.
Swear to beans.
No.
Yeah, I'm not a fan
Yeah,
of that.
see,
Dude,
that's
I
awesome.
just got the chills. Like
That's
that's
awesome.
And
freaky.
the Philippines does have a lot of like real scary stories because of all the war and everything that went on over there. So there is a lot of like stories that people have like that.
And was anyone with you? Was it just your own two eyes? that
No,
saw
my
that?
brother was with me, my one cousin who lives in the Philippines, and my parents were with me as well.
And they all saw it.
And my mom was like, "Holy shit! I think you guys just both saw a ghost."
Wait, but did she see it too?
Yeah,
Them? Like-
all 5 of us, 6 of us, however many of us were there. We're like, did anyone else just see those 2 little girls disappear into the fog in the middle of this like Category 5 hurricane?
Yeah, I'm not a fan
Other,
of that.
other than that, how is the Philippines? Is it nice?
It's hot as shit.
like dry
Yeah.
hot or wet
No,
hot?
humid.
Humid.
It's
hot?
like
Earl,
It's not like Vegas hot. Like,
no, that's dry.
yeah.
this is coming. I remember when you went a couple. Back in high
No,
school.
this was back in like 5th grade.
No. Yeah. But I remember you telling us stories about seeing someone in your house or
Oh,
something, right?
The good old white lady of the Philippines.
Yo, this is coming back to me now. I remember. I remember being intrigued
So-
by this.
My parents were born and raised in the Philippines, and my mom has a lot of really scary, weird ghost stories. And one thing she always told me was that her brother was haunted by a white lady.
Like
her oldest brother.
Caucasian or like her-
No, like a white lady, like from The Conjuring, white lady.
I know what you mean now.
Like a lady in a white dress, or like
No,
just
like,
a straight up
according
white.
to Chris,
like,
it's just some Karen that followed my uncle
okay.
around.
So Caucasian.
Nah, like either
No,
white.
okay.
lady,
So
but I
here's
know
the
what you
story
mean.
with this, right? So my mom, her and her family had a couple different homes growing up. The Philippines are haunted ground supposedly, and my mom swears that her brother picked up a white lady ghost that was attracted to him and followed him around through his whole life. Have you guys never? I've never told you guys this
Nah,
story.
I've never heard
you
this.
Did.
You might have told me a
me.
while
I
ago.
know you did, but
Alright.
it's been so long.
So she picks up this white lady, and he's attracted to her somewhere in his 30s. And it was to the point even where my mom told me. So my mom's brother has had a wife, and she died only like 20 years after 10, 20 years after their marriage. And my mom thinks that it's because the white lady drove her crazy.
Oh my god.
Oh, she thinks it was that ghost, the white lady.
Yeah.
That
So I never believed it, right, until the last time I was in the Philippines, like 7 years ago, and my cousin was telling me I never believed in this whole white lady stuff until one time I was laying in bed with my dad, and this was a couple years after my mom passed, and my dad was sleeping and I was sleeping, and I looked up and I just saw a white lady in a white dress, white skin, just walking out of the room.
Dude, that's too much. That's
she didn't have a
just-
face. Like it was just a
Well,
straight
he didn't
up.
see her face. He just saw her from behind, and it was just black hair. Skin was like as pale as white as you could get, and she was wearing a white dress.
I'm not.
That's
I'm
awesome.
not a fan of that.
We
at
should
all.
go there.
No,
I don't know.
Are you
it's-
crazy?
It's good with me.
Well, I want to go to Philippines for the balut too,
Absolutely not.
and the white lady.
I don't. Yeah.
So now
I'm
the
good with that.
house that my uncle lives in now, my mom told me that like villagers will not villagers, but like town people would come up to her, and yeah, villagers, right? Like it's some like tribe.
Yeah.
Like no, like just townspeople would tell my mom, like, yeah, the house, that's the house you guys are staying in. For some reason, it always smells like funeral flowers at the house when we drive by. And
So
then, and some
sorry.
people even would tell my mom that they see the white lady like hang out on the balcony at night. Like it's some real
Dude,
scary shit. At
that's
my
so
uncle's
much-
house.
right.
Your uncle's still alive? Like he's still there?
Yeah, he's just chilling. I mean, we don't ask him about it because that's ridiculous. Like
Right.
Why? I want to interview him.
interview him. I mean, you're gonna have to learn Filipino. He doesn't speak a
I
lick
know
of
a lot of
English.
Filipino. A
Can you
lot.
speak it? You could translate.
Yeah, I'm a pretty fluent speaker.
Yeah.
Wait, can you really speak Filipino?
Yeah, fluently.
Tell me I look nice.
No,
Well, like tongue
Well,
by
you
up.
don't. Look,
this is like one.
don't look.
This
nice.
is like one of my least favorite things about having another language is that people would just be like, "Oh my god, can you say hi to me?" Hi.
I could speak Philippines.
Yeah,
No,
you
you
can
can't.
speak Philippines.
Yeah,
That's
whatever
the
it
first.
I can speak
Well, there's like
Philippines.
you know what's crazy? I heard that there's like thousands of different languages they speak in the Philippines.
Oh yeah. So my dad, well, even my dad's whole family speak a whole different dialect than my mother's.
Really?
Mm-hmm. I mean, but they know both.
Right.
So like if I went up to someone who says they speak fluent Filipino, and I started talking in like my dad's language, they would be like, "The hell did you just say to me?"
Excuse
Wow.
Yeah,
That's interesting.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I want to go to Manila. Is that a
but
that's
that's
a
like the
place,
same.
right?
It's not really the same, but like if you think about like Caribbean countries, like the way Puerto Ricans talk is a lot different than the way like Dominicans talk. Like it's not the same.
But
It's
it's
not the same
still
Spanish.
technically Spanish, which is the weirdest part. It's like that's like Texas to Philly. You ever hear someone from Texas like really?
Yeah, it's like that,
southern
but like
accent?
not at all.
So you're saying it's a completely different.
I was gonna
language?
say I think that's
yeah,
completely
no, it's a
false.
completely different language.
Well, have you ever heard someone from Texas talk
They-
for more than like 5 minutes?
Yeah, but
They're
they
almost
speak
impossible.
English.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's not
but,
that they don't
like-
speak English, Chris.
They have so many weird like words that I don't understand.
No, here. So like to paint an even better picture, like if you're a Native American, you don't speak the same language as another Native American tribe.
Right.
And that's just the easiest way to put it.
Mm.
Is it, and I could be so far wrong here, but is it the same concept as like Spain and Mexico?
Yeah, but the only difference is the Philippines is one continent.
Ah,
One
One country, sorry. Not a continent. I just had a doc moment.
Yeah, that's something I would.
Well,
do.
Philippines is huge, isn't it?
No.
No.
I think it's smaller than Japan.
Oh, it's small.
I'm telling you,
okay.
we got to go to Manila. The casinos out there, beautiful. I hear.
There's some beautiful sites there.
in the Philippines.
Yeah. They have black sand beaches, they have white sand beaches,
a black sand beach?
blacks, yeah, it's mostly made of like the volcanic erosion. So when like volcanoes make land, it just comes in black, and then the water erodes it down and turns it into sand.
I heard
Wow.
if I go down there or up there wherever the Philippines is
Down.
it down?
Well, if you go up, you're going to like
Yeah,
Iceland.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Yeah,
That if I brought like $1 million, I'd be like royalty over there.
Yeah, just about. So
you got a million
Well-
laying around.
I'm thinking as of like
Maybe in a few years.
yeah, well later in my life, but I mean $1 million in America is to some people is nothing, right?
no, so
Well,
here's
to the top 1%, but
Well,
here's the thing. So
yeah.
like $1 American dollar
you know what I mean.
equals like roughly 50 Philippine pesos. So like you don't see the conversion too much in like smaller items. So like if you, let's say you went to Wawa and you bought a Gatorade for $2, I mean you would still pay like around 130 pesos for a Gatorade or whatever. But you really see the difference when you want to make a big purchase. Like if you wanted to buy a house, like that's where the difference is.
Yeah, it's crazy to me.
So how much in American dollars would a house be? Do you think?
All I know is that if you had $250,000 and you went to the Philippines, you'd probably be the king.
I'd wear a crown.
That's plenty money, $250,000 to the Philippines, and not for nothing, it's also a third world country.
Yeah.
I'll travel to another state and feel like it's a different country.
Sometimes
You
it's
really
like
don't get
that.
out of your house much.
Like when I no, I don't, not at all. I went to Virginia, I believe. We went to a Virginia resort when I was super young, and it was just like super wide open, and like trees were everywhere, and like the way the people talked and dressed were different, and it was like, wow, this is nothing like suburban Jersey.
Imagine if you went to another country.
It probably feel like another
I'll
continent.
tell you what, if
It probably would
when
be.
we were in Vegas, it felt like we were in a whole different country or world. Like
no,
it
it
was
felt like we were in a
crazy.
different universe.
Dude, the drug dealers in Las Vegas were like fudgy wudgy men, like ice cream guys. They would walk up and down the strip and be like Molly, Coke, weed. Like you would have thought they were carrying a freezer down the strip with
kinda
ice cream.
scary.
It's weird.
I have a 2-part question for you guys for Vegas. Let me ask the first one. One, is the food as good as they say it is? I heard the food's unbelievable in
Oh,
Vegas.
Earl of Sandwich, unreal.
Oh,
Oh
Earl of
my
Sand. I probably
God.
spent $500 there.
We went to this same place, Rocco. It's called Earl of Sandwich. And when I tell you they were the Earl of Sandwich, every sandwich that I got,
It
was-
Earl.
it was 10 out of 10.
It's
like
funny
Earl
because
is.
Rocco is asking us like, "What do you guys think about the food they have there?" But meanwhile, we were just broke as shit, 21-year-olds with no money left. So we went out to a couple of nice dinners though.
You guys
The-
had
the
you
one
did-
seafood
you guys
place we went to was
highlighted
nice.
a nice dinner, right?
The steakhouses
Yeah,
were
steakhouses
very
were-
good.
Yeah.
Yeah, we went to a steakhouse. Oh, when we got stuck the one night. Yeah, remember we went out to dinner the next night
Mhm.
the first night that we were stuck. That's when we thought it was our last night, and we said, "Let's go to a nice dinner." That place was fantastic. I
wasn't
don't-
there
what
with you
was
guys
it?
that night.
No, you were there.
No, I wasn't.
No.
No, Doc was in the poker room.
Oh, you were playing. Yeah.
I was. I couldn't even. I don't even remember what I was doing. to be honest with you.
I don't
Shoved with
even-
ace four off.
No,
I don't even.
I don't even want
want
to talk about my poker
Doing.
experience there.
My second question was so you guys obviously hear a lot of things about Vegas and go there, and probably a lot of it lives up to the expectation. Was there something that caught you completely off guard about Vegas?
Wow.
Maybe it blew your mind in a positive way or a negative way,
Listen,
or like you didn't expect it. I
listen.
don't know. I'm just curious because when
I-
I go to Vegas, like I'm probably expecting a ton to like jump, like you just all the lights and like the way it comes at you, and I hear about like the street life and the people that come up to
Okay,
you.
yeah. So I am going to go on the record, and I do not shame anyone for being a sex worker, whether you're a stripper, whether you make porn for a living, but I have never seen so many hookers in my life. So many hookers.
Just on like the strip.
Yeah, and into they try to take them out of the casino, but you're really not allowed to be hooking around in a casino. Is that even proper term?
I
But-
have no clue.
Probably
But you walk
not,
up and
but-
down the strip, and there's just girls and girls and girls. They have baseball cards they're handing out. They want you to call them later, and they just, every couple steps you take, they're like, hey, hon, what's up? Hey, hon, what are you up to tonight? Where are you headed after this? So many
It is-
hookers.
Now
Yeah, that's
it's
crazy.
it's legal in Vegas, but is there also illegal?
No, it's illegal.
It's illegal.
It's illegal what they were doing, right?
In Las Vegas, there are really no holds barred. You're not even really allowed
Yeah.
to drink outside
But it just
anywhere.
happens.
But on the strip, you're just allowed. You just do it.
Well, that's what I was gonna say. I think like the craziest thing to me is just, I feel like when we were just walking down the strip, how like happy everyone was at every
And
second.
how much
of,
was going on?
and yeah, what was going on around you, like people like used to drink it on the street. You literally can just do whatever you want down there. It's crazy. It's like a whole nother world, like I was saying. But just the atmosphere is just something like you couldn't even imagine.
The thing that stood out to me the most was there was one night. It was actually only me and Doc, and it was probably about 6 a.m, I think. And when I tell you, when you're inside of the casino, you can't tell the difference between 2 p.m. and 6 a.m. or 5 a.m. There's just as many people, maybe a little less, but it's the same atmosphere.
It's just the same flow of people the entire time.
Everything. But when you're outside, not as much. But for some reason, in the casinos, you can't tell what time it is. And they do that on purpose. There's no clocks anywhere in a casino. And, they pump you with oxygen, and the lights are real high and bright.
Wow.
But
That's
you literally cannot tell the difference between 6 a.m. and 2 p.m. That was the thing that just blew my mind.
Well, that's
like-
that makes too much sense. They want to keep you in there as long as possible.
Exactly.
I mean,
And
it's
it
almost
works.
it's
They
almost
literally
like that.
pump oxygen into your room.
Oh wait, that was that was true.
No, it's a real thing. I mean, I've read it online. I don't know how true it is, but I think it's true
No,
because
it's true.
you could feel it when you walk in the casino. How do you even explain that? They're just pumping more air in, like.
Truthfully, I have no clue. That's what Chris always said because he saw it. But I think they have to put something in the air to just like happy gas or something. It's just
I don't even know how you guys can imagine what you felt like. I couldn't feel my feet that whole trip. I was so damn drunk.
Yeah, and Vegas is. Where do you want to go, Rock?
I
To Vegas?
Well, I do for a place that I've never traveled before. I really just want to go to Italy, Italian blood. I remember you were telling me a story, Chris, about when I don't know why this stuck with me because I just feel like in America everything is held to a certain standard, and you told me that when you went out and got food that the ticket time was like over an hour, but nobody cared because everyone was just relaxed doing their thing.
Yeah. It was very interesting. We were at it wasn't any kind of big name restaurant. We actually ended up in this place because the hotel that we were at was completely booked somehow. I don't really know how that happens, but so we ended up going in this small town right outside of Tuscany, and we went to the first restaurant we saw, and it was just a couple, like an older man and an older woman, and you could see into the kitchen. There was a giant thing of sauce on the on the stove, and for some reason a bunch of people were in the same boat as us looking for the nearest restaurant for dinner. So this place was, pretty filled, but it was only the size of this room, a small restaurant, probably held about 20 people. And if you looked around, you could just immediately tell who were Americans and who were Italians. And it's so interesting because if you looked across, we were there, we were starving. You know, we were kind of on edge just waiting for the food to come out. And then you look over and the people in the same exact position as us, just sitting there relaxing with their wine. And that's it. They're just waiting and just talking like over wine.
It,
It was cool to see though.
yeah.
Just to know that they're that relaxed and they're just there to enjoy their night at the restaurant.
Anything over like a 20-minute ticket time in America is going to get.
And
Yeah.
imagine here, any restaurant you're at,
Mhm.
if somebody waits for more than half an hour for their food,
At
they're
most, yeah.
complaining to the owners.
Dude, food is like, this is another thing that I realized when I was going back and forth throughout the Philippines in my like grade school years. Like, no one eats as much as Americans do. Like, I remember going to the Philippines and I went to the McDonald's and I got a large French fry, and it must have been like a small in here. Yeah,
Really?
like not kidding.
Wow.
Like it's like you always hear things about like Americans eat so much and their meal sizes and stuff like that. I literally got like a large fry and it looked like it came out of a kid's meal.
We're the fattest country in the world. We are. Did you know that?
I would not doubt it.
Yeah.
I think it's just because
It's a shame.
it comes down to just them wanting to make more money, right? And they just want us to buy more food.
Right.
I don't know. That's just the way I look at it.
Yeah, so here's another thing. When I went to Disney twice, once when it was like in 2005, and then
Senior trip.
and
You
then the
went
other
to
one was
senior trip?
I unfortunately,
No, I didn't.
Yeah.
I would say yeah.
yeah, no, I didn't.
I didn't
spend
see you there.
didn't spend didn't spend that much time with you guys. And what I realized was, I told myself, and the first time I went to Disney, like when I was younger, I was like, God, I hated Epcot. Then when I went there senior year, the older I got, I was like, this is magical Epcot, seeing all the different countries. And
Epcot
it's
is so
amazing
cool.
when you get older how much you like the cultural, like nostalgic feeling to the places.
Mm-hmm.
Was-
And how every place they tried, they make it feel like you're actually there,
Mm-hmm.
and that's the coolest part.
Oh,
I think
yeah.
one of the best ones is Mexico, when you're in there and you go in. I don't know if you remember that one specifically, but they have the little ride where you go on the boat and it takes you through, and you actually feel like you're there. It's actually crazy.
We at the time I had a hibachi in Japan, and dude, some of the best food you would ever eat.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and they have them big buildings, and they make you feel like you're there. It's awesome.
Mm-hmm. And so, of all the parks, you guys all been to Disney, right?
Yes.
What would you guys say is your favorite part of Disney?
That's a good question.
Disney World, for anyone who's listening.
Just
Not
Probably,
Disneyland.
I guess like what I said about Vegas, the atmosphere. Everyone's happy in Disney.
Yeah, but what's your favorite park in Disney?
Oh, park?
Yeah,
I
yeah.
thought you meant part.
No,
Oh,
no.
my bad.
I did say park, but Earl was right in terms of that's what I meant.
My
Like,
favorite
Oh, wow.
park.
I actually
Ugh.
didn't mean it in that way. I think I said part though.
I like the Animal Kingdom.
Animal Kingdom.
That
I like
was
because you get
impressive.
to walk around and like not only do you get to like sightsee and like go on the rides, but there's also like really cool animals just kind of walking around.
Mm-hmm. That place is awesome.
That was the part of the trip where it was like the last day we were there for senior trip, and I was like, God, I don't like this is not going to be as fun as like the Magic Kingdom and Epcot and all this. And next thing you know, Earl kind of hit the nail on the head. It was one of the more impressive parks that they had was
Mhm.
Animal Kingdom.
Right.
I think mine's Magic Kingdom. I think that's just like the
What's the
standard.
main attraction there?
The
I
The
forgot.
castle.
the castle, of
castle.
Magic Kingdom,
Right,
right?
right, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then
yeah, that's
probably
awesome.
Hollywood Studios, is it? Is that still?
Yeah, that was Downtown Disney was the small park. It was super
Well, that
small.
was different.
That was different, yeah.
But
But
it's like off the.
Hollywood was that its own
That's
park?
one with
that
the,
had the rock and roll roller
Yeah,
coaster?
yeah, that one and the Tower of Terror.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That was fun.
And it had like all the Star Wars and Toy Story and all
Yes.
that. What are you laughing at? What is so funny?
I was just thinking like how fun it is.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, to piggyback on Disney, I might lose some friends and people might hate me for it, but I cannot believe that there's so many places in the world and there's people who go to Disney every year. I hate that.
Ooh, you're gonna upset some people.
I hate that.
Why? Elaborate.
Because think of how many places you could go and you just want to keep spending your $2,000 vacation allotted money to go to Disney.
I think they do a good job updating their attractions, though. Is what it is, as well as keeping the old nostalgic attractions.
I personally just can't get down with it.
Now, let me ask you this: if you had the option to go to Disney every year, would
No.
you do it? What if
No.
it was paid for?
Well, then, yeah, obviously.
Okay,
But
so
I-
you love Disney, is what you're telling me.
No, I actually don't even like roller coasters.
You don't have to like roller coasters to go to Disney.
What am I gonna do? Walk around all day? I could do that.
Yeah, I actually bought a ton of lightsabers, and I never watched a movie of Star Wars in my entire life.
Listen,
That
I'm
just
I'm
doesn't
just
make
saying,
sense to
if
me.
I were to pick personally, and I don't know if you guys can agree, but if I were to pick a vacation, or if I could go to an island in the Dominican and relax on a beach and drink daiquiris all day, or I could walk around and see crying snotty children on rides in Disney World every summer, I wouldn't go to
So,
Disney.
are you-
Okay, so personally, if I could go to Disney every year and I was able to afford going to Disney every year, I would do it. But I think I would want to do it if I had a family, like I had kids, like as I'm older. I mean, I agree, like as you get older, it's like Disney's I probably wouldn't spend that every year with me and my girlfriend or me, whoever, my significant other. But if I had kids, I think I'd want to go there every year with them.
But okay, so
For
the,
as long as I could afford Chris, you keep laughing at me, and I just don't understand.
the only families that I do know that go to Disney all the time go on a couple vacations as well throughout the year. They don't go to just Disney that year. They do have
Yeah.
enough.
So, I mean, I don't know why you're trying to make this an anti-Disney podcast, but I'm
Yeah,
really
Earl.
just gonna have none of it because I like Disney.
I enjoy
I do.
Disney.
All right, I'll see you guys there for the
Have-
next 30 years.
Have you guys been to Disneyland? Anybody?
No,
Is-
I want to
never-
go there.
I never
didn't-
been to the West Coast.
Me
I-
neither.
You were in Vegas.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I never touched the West Coast.
Is Vegas not the West Coast? Huh?
No,
Well,
it
not
is.
the co- it's
if
not
you think
coastal.
about the coast,
You mean like
Well, you mean
coast,
California. It would be the coast, right?
And I guess
or
Oregon.
Washington. and
Or,
Well,
yeah,
that'd
not
be
Oregon, Washington.
Yeah.
coast? Our next trip, Washington.
We
Nice.
should go.
no,
What's there
apparently,
to do
according to
there,
you guys,
Ryan?
we need to go to Disney World.
I really want to personally want to go to Ireland, my motherland.
I would love to go to Ireland.
To go to Dublin, where I'm from, my ancestors.
So what's the attractions in Ireland?
Dublin,
The pubs.
everything, the mountains,
Do they-
the pubs.
Do
the
they have a
beer.
specific attraction like with Italy? Like I know that they have a couple of them with like statues and I don't know what's the
You,
specific.
you mean
and, like,
I don't
Rome?
like this quite. Yeah, I don't. What do you?
You don't
mean?
even know. The real attraction in Ireland that a lot of people like to go and see is they go and they're Irish. They go kiss the Blarney Stone.
Elaborate.
How do you not know about that, Ryan?
Because I'm
Mr.
more Italian
Irishman?
than Irish.
No, you're not.
It's just a stone that people say you're supposed to go back to Ireland and kiss it, but don't do it.
Well, then
'Cause
yeah, I'm gonna go back and kiss that stone.
You're not supposed to, apparently,
Why?
because a lot of the locals just go around and piss and spit on this stone, and then they're like, "Oh, look at these townies! They come in and they kiss this thing with jerk off."
That's kind of funny.
Well, I feel like the main attraction of Ireland would just be Dublin, Ireland, right? Just the city itself. Like going to London, England, there may not be like one specific thing, but if you're an English American,
Yeah, I guess I was asking about specific attractions, which I don't know too much about.
Attractions like a weird. That's something.
No.
That's like Disney
No.
attractions. I feel
No,
like.
it's
No.
like if you
No,
go to
it's not.
France and you go to see the Eiffel Tower, or if you go
Yes.
to London and you go see the Parliament and the Big Ben.
Canada,
Oh,
Niagara
okay.
Falls.
or the Colosseum in Rome.
Yeah, boom.
Okay, so
Which I
what you
saw.
guys are
That's
trying to tell
crazy.
me is that it sucks to be Irish.
No, I was asking you what the attraction
Are you,
was.
We hate Irish people now.
I never even got
No,
that
I just
far.
hate you.
All right, well, let's
just
cut
happen to
this
be
and
Irish.
let's end with: if you guys could travel anywhere tomorrow, where would you go?
Hawaii.
Vegas.
Nah, that's a lie, Chris.
I'm just kidding. I'm not picking Vegas.
Where would you go?
Well, you answer first while I think about it real quick.
I don't know. You know what? I really want to go to Iceland.
That's a good answer.
There's a lot of those like natural hot springs people go in all the time. It just looks really relaxing, like a nice, awesome spa day turned into a whole weekend. I mean, I've never been to any sort of spa, but I see people who have went. A couple of our friends, I think, went a few years ago, and they just have the hot springs. And not only that, it's also like 20 degrees there all the time, maybe colder.
Really?
And they just get in their bathing suit and just go out into these natural geysers, and it's like a giant hot tub.
Wow.
And it looks really relaxing, so I'd like to go.
I didn't know that.
Now
Well,
you-
can I come with you? I think that's my answer now.
So
That or Croatia.
I actually kind of I didn't do like my full research on this, but like I looked back into it back when I was in high school, and Argentina seems like a place I want to go to, especially because they are a Spanish speaking country, but with Italian culture. And interesting enough, it's because Italy once had that land until Spain conquered it after them, and that's why they have Italian culture, even though they speak Spanish.
That's interesting. And they
Mhm.
have Lionel Messi.
Which, yeah, and they have Lionel Messi, but that works perfect for me because I speak Spanish way better than Italian, but I could eat some Italian food.
So Ireland, Doc. Ireland for you.
No, Chris, you go. I'm still thinking about my answer.
Chris said he's coming
I'm
with
coming
me.
with Earl.
Oh, you're going to Iceland?
You don't have. You're not invited, so you pick something else.
You want to
All
come
right,
with me to
well,
Argentina?
While you think, you
No.
think of that,
God, no.
I don't know if you guys are into the Last Kingdom and Vikings and stuff, but it makes me laugh about Iceland. I always think about it. So the Vikings named Iceland, and Greenland, because if you don't know, Greenland is actually like icier in appearance than Iceland, and the Vikings did that to trick people. So they would say, oh, the Vikings, they're off to Greenland. So all these people who were looking to kill these Vikings actually went to Iceland instead because the Vikings tricked them all.
I mean, that's crazy.
Great show, by the way, The Last Kingdom. You kind of look like Uhtred, son of Uhtred, Chris.
He's handsome. Thanks.
I want to go to the Maldives.
That's a good answer.
where I'd want to go.
I have no idea what that is, truthfully.
It's like isn't an island on it's in Asia, I think.
It's like rapidly sinking, apparently.
Really?
So you better.
Is that your fat fact of the day?
Absolutely not. But you better go while it's hot.
Well, wait.
I
what-
would love to go there. I want to go somewhere like tropical, something like nice, like
How
Chris
about-
said.
Philippines.
Nah,
Yeah.
yeah, well, yeah, I would love to go there, eat all the balut and stuff like that.
How about
Oh.
Dubai? That seems like a crazy
That's
place to
probably
visit.
crazy.
Apparently, it's
Or
like,
Australia.
very expensive.
Is the Maldives in Australia?
I'll be honest, I don't know, Ryan.
Dude, I'm sick of you guys coming up with these answers and you don't know
I think it's in
anything about 'em.
Asia. I think it's in Asia or
Yeah.
somewhere in like southern Asia.
Doc did just say an answer, and someone asked him something about it.
Well, the Maldives is an island.
Maldives.
I'm glad none
What's it
Maldives.
called?
Maldives.
It's the Maldives.
The
Maldives.
Maldives.
it's in
Just a
South
bunch of
Asia.
thieves.
So it's in Asia.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I was
It's
right.
on the Arabian Sea of the Indian
Ooh,
Ocean.
Like that sounds awesome.
It does. Good answer, Ryan. Congrats.
Thank you.
Well, so what is your fat fact of the day?
My fat fact is at that time. That's good. So I got another very, very useless fact. Excuse me. My fat fact of the week is no number from 1 to 999 includes the letter A in its word form.
Whoa. We are silent from that
Why
one.
did
These
nobody say
two are
anything?
thinking. I'm not thinking because I know I'm not going to be able to.
Well,
Like,
yeah, it doesn't because it would be. So it would be 1 through 9, and then none of them have an A in it, including 0. And then once you get to 100, then it's just the same thing again, just 100, 200, 300, and then you're repeating the numbers 1 through 9, and then
Yeah, until you
99.
get to 1,000, then there's an A in 1,000.
Mm-hmm.
But that is pretty interesting that you need to get to the
Like super
1,000.
So, useless.
As I like to say, do with that fact as you may.
You ever hear of the
do you
book?
think the guy who did that or whoever made that did that for that specific reason?
No.
Did what? Created
Whoever
numbers?
made numbers.
Whoever made numbers was like, I am not going to put an A in the word form of these numbers.
Well, who made numbers?
I don't know, Chris. I have no clue. I was hoping you would know. You're the
I
fat
think
fact guy.
I do think about that every now and then. Who decided when there was 2 of something that it was?
Okay,
two.
that's something for another episode.
That is
Yeah.
another episode.
Go ahead.
I did want to ask though, you guys ever, and you might be able to look this up for me because I forget the specific name. Do you ever hear of the book that doesn't include the letter E throughout the entire book?
No.
No shot.
I swear to God, there's like a 300, 400 page book. Might even be 200. I don't know.
Dude, speaking of things that don't include the letter E, I will never forget anywhere I go, any amusement park. Like, for instance, I remember going to Hershey and I wanted to get one of those like refrigerator magnets with your name on it that says Hershey Park. None of them ever have Earl. They hate me.
Mm-hmm.
Really?
Rocco.
They hate me.
I've shared a Coke with you before.
There's a Coke with Earl,
Yeah.
and you didn't save it for me?
Nope.
That's like the only thing ever with the name Earl on it besides the Earl of Sandwich.
and yeah, that place was good. So, the book is called Gadsby,
Yes.
and it was written in 1939, and it doesn't include the letter E.
And how many pages is it?
Probably a lot.
Can you just look up how many pages Gatsby is?
I mean, you
It's
just
Gadsby.
Yeah, Gatsby. No, because
Not to be confused
Not
with The
Gatsby.
Great Gatsby.
I did not say Gatsby. I said Gadsby. I just have a nasally voice.
I think. Okay. Yeah.
Wait.
You have a great voice.
Hang stop.
I was gonna be mean to you, but I stopped myself.
260 pages.
Not a single one of them has the letter E in it.
That almost.
I'm
that
going to
just
read that. I'm
doesn't
going to
seem
see if that's
feasible.
true or not.
No, you're not, Ryan. Let's be honest here.
You're not.
What's the last book you even read?
Holes.
7th grade?
Yeah.
Yep.
It's like
Same.
18 years ago.
Great book.
Shoeless Joe Jackson. Well, speaking of Shoeless Joe Jackson, actually, on to our sports segment. And Doc's Lock, we will close off the show with. But, and we want to give you guys a fair warning. We are recording this episode on a Thursday, and Doc's picking a lock on the Monday or Tuesday in the future. So it may be adjusted due to injury or whatever the case is. There may not even be a specific line out. But Doc has a lock that he will share at the end of our sports talk. But before we get on to Doc's lock, let's get on to some basketball talk. Sixers are number 1 in the East. Lakers are number 1 in the West. Do you guys see anything, any chance that that's going to happen in the finals?
No.
Wait, before you say no, when the Sixers have their full starting lineup, they're undefeated.
Undefeated?
They're undefeated when they have them all.
Wow. That's a good fact.
I believe it's
Good
like
stat.
16-0 or something like that.
Well, it's because Embiid will just miss a game. I mean, he misses like every third game for some reason, and it's not fun. And they don't know how to play without him. So
I'll tell you guys who to look out for. Phoenix Suns.
Mm.
are they actually in competition?
No.
I have no idea.
They've
to be
been
truthful.
bad for as long as since they got rid of Steve Nash. That's the last time I remember them
So
being
the
good.
the Suns are like one of those poverty franchises where since they're like not ever extremely bad, they always get caught with like kind of a shitty pick in the draft. So like they do like decent but not enough to make the playoff push, but not enough to get a good draft pick.
And they're not a big free agent market.
And I mean, how could you really put all your eggs in Chris Paul's basket? I mean, that guy hasn't won anything.
Are we really going to go here?
no.
Are we really going to go here?
No, because
Just-
we can spend an hour on that.
I don't want to spend it. I
And
just
you'll
want to
be
make the
wrong.
point. No, I'm not wrong. Chris Paul is better than Russell
Okay.
Wilson.
Russell Wilson.
Russell Wilson.
Russell
He's
Westbrook.
definitely not better than Russell Wilson.
No, no shot.
Absolutely
But he's
not.
better than Russell Westbrook for
I
sure.
just can't-
Better career.
I can't do basketball.
What do you
I don't
mean?
know. It's the same thing every year.
It is the same thing every year.
It's just LeBron versus
It's
someone else.
yeah, or it's the
Whoever's trying to take
Warriors
him.
versus LeBron, and it was LeBron. I mean, the Heat got there last year, but I mean, we all knew they weren't going to win.
I personally just like talking about the sports so I can argue with you guys.
I like that basketball switched it to it's like a tournament for the last seeded team to get into the playoffs. They did that last
Really?
year because of the coronavirus, but they're implementing it into the whole
Yeah,
league
that's
going
cool.
forward.
I like that.
Mm-hmm.
You guys want to hear a bet I made?
Yeah, let's
I think
hear it.
I've showed you, but I just want to tell everyone else what it is. All right, it's the Sixers to win the NBA championship, the Toronto Maple Leafs to win the Stanley Cup, the Phillies to win the NL East, and the Kansas City Chiefs to win next year's Super Bowl. And you know how much that's paying out for $10?
100,000.
$102,000. Wow. $102,590. So.
That's scared.
Now tell me exactly what you
That's
would do.
scared. What do you mean? What are you gonna
That's
put me
scared.
100 on that?
That's the kind of bet you put 100 on.
No, that's the
Or
kind of bet you
500.
put exactly $10 on.
That's the kind of bet you that is a scary bet because the Phillies should have been winning the World Series, not NL East.
Doc, tell me what you
Well,
would
I'm
do
smart.
if you won.
What would I do?
If you won that, what's the first thing you would buy?
And don't you dare say go to Disney World.
He's gonna say go to Vegas.
I
That's what
was
gonna
say go to Vegas, but I mean, if I could, I'd go to the Maldives.
Okay, that's good because it's sinking rapidly. You better get there.
Or I'd put it in the stocks. I'd invest.
That sounds stupid.
I know a couple guys. What's your lock?
Oh, that's what I was looking at. Yeah, so this is recorded Thursday, and my lock for Tuesday, February 16th.
Gamble responsibly.
Please gamble responsibly.
Doc,
As we
disclaimer.
know, I am 0-1, so that's not a very good record. I should be 1-1, but Rocco deleted the episode. We won't get into that. Anyway, I'm going to go with the Portland Trailblazers against the Oklahoma City Thunder. I have no idea what the line is. I'm going to just take a guess, and it's going to be anywhere around 6 to 8, maybe 7 to 10-ish. But who knows?
Was
That's
it, all
my-
right? So let's make it fair for the listeners. Is there a line over where they have a certain spread that you wouldn't take it?
If it's anywhere above 7.5, I wouldn't.
Okay. All right. So we'll do that to be fair. So that way
So
it's
I'll
not
probably
against your
put it in
record.
money line.
All right. So what was it again, Ryan? Tell everybody one more time.
The Portland Trailblazers against the Oklahoma City Thunder, Tuesday, February 16th.
Up to -7.5.
Yeah.
Okay. We'll see how that one goes.
All right, boys. Any closing thoughts? I got one, dude. I Chris Paul is better than Russell Westbrook. I don't care what you
Nah,
guys say.
absolutely not.
I can get into this fight with you guys all day, and I just want to leave it at that. So I got the last word, and I'm looking right at Earl because he sent me the message earlier this year saying I think I was wrong.
No, he didn't.
Really?
So, it's Monday. I love Monday. Let's get after it. This week, any week coming up, I hope you guys enjoyed your Valentine's Day.
It's
Hope you
Thursday.
treated your loved one. Whatever you got to do.
It's actually Thursday on recording, but when you guys listen to this, it will be Monday.
I will be listening to this on my ride home from Lake Placid.
Oh, let's go.
Let's win.
Let's
Let's-
win Monday.
Let's win.
We're excited.
Hopefully, I can get a better score than a 2 out of 10 on my next exercise physiology quiz.
Can't get much worse.
No, I can't. So we're
Mm.
gonna win.
Make
For
someone
sure.
smile today. How
Mhm.
about that? I feel like that's my closing statement.
You make me smile, Chris.
You do.
There you go. I won.
Tell
I
someone.
won today.
Tell someone close you love them.
Mm-hmm.
Doc, I love you. All right, boys. Win Monday. Everyone enjoy the rest of your week. We hope you enjoyed this episode. And again, let's win some Mondays, boys.
Remember to ask questions on our Instagram
Yep.
for our Q&A segment.
Q&A. The way to close out the round out. That was it. That was the end of the episode.
Well, I wanted to keep going because I love doing this so much.
Okay. Well, remember to use Ballbreakers10 on Instagram. Visit Halo Creations on Instagram. Use Ballbreakers10 on her shop. And also remember to take a look at our merchandise on Halo Creations. Our T-shirts. We have 4 T-shirts out, 2 black T-shirts, 2 tie-dye T-shirts. Go take a look at Halo Creations, and we are excited that we actually had a few people buy some shirts already. We hope you guys enjoy them, and we can't thank Angel enough. Guys, again, win Monday, and we will talk to you next week. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.